So you found the skeleton. How would you calculate the deposition? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tisdall Tuesday, number 13, I think. I am here with Chesh. Chesh is in bunny ears, or a bunny hat. Yay! We are here with Lawrence Tisdall, the creationist extraordinaire from Quebec. And, yeah, that's the thing. Chesh, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I got a bunny hat on. I wear this bunny hat because it makes people less intimidated of me. Apparently, I'm very scary.
You are very, very scary. It's true.
Urgh.
That's why we haven't met up in real
It
life.
is the rabbit.
It's because I'm scared.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. DM Wing, who's been a member for 41 months, says, been for effing ever since I got membership benefits, and then sends a Ghidorah, a Mothra, a Godzilla, and 5 drink emojis. So we, in fact, will take a drink, because today is one of them drinking days.
And I got drinks this time. I'm ready.
Nice. This is about the first time since that art stream where you drew our Vulcan supporting character that I've had to buy new booze. Because the rest of that time, I've just been slowly working my way through that handle of rum that I got with Zerolon's gift card.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm still happy with how flat that guy's head looked. The top of his head looks really flat, and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, so in case you guys don't know, I do have a second channel where there's all sorts of crazy stuff on there. TTRPG actual plays, art streams, all sorts of stuff. So, actually, a video went up yesterday and today on that channel. So there you go.
And there's going to be me streaming live on Friday, beating up Dapper.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Also, if it's buffering, I'm sorry. I'm getting really low upload rate here. So I don't know what's up with that. But
YouTube, stop.
I know. All right. Before we get super into it, I do want to say we do have a super chat goal. If we meet the goal, then we will there will be an English as she spoke reading, and of course, Chesh will be unleashed. She can drop as many F-bombs as she wants. Whereas if she does it now, I will become very cross. So we don't want that. All right. So let's see what else we got here. We'll go through the drinking rules. So the first one that you've already seen is if anyone super chats or membership milestone chats anything that contains any of our kaiju emojis, that's Mothra, Godzilla, King Ghidorah, we will take a drink for that. We will also take a drink if anyone, or we'll switch over to the ones that Lawrence can cause, right? So Lawrence is our creationist of the day. If he says something that's just so stupid, we just kind of have to take a drink to cool our brains down a little bit, we will do that. We'll take a drink for it. We'll also take a drink if he says something that is actually factually accurate. We'll take a drink for that. We'll also take a drink if he tells a joke that doesn't land or tells a story that didn't happen. That one is a bit of a judgment call, but like, if it feels like something that should end with and then everyone clapped, or it should be on like r/that really happened, or r/that happened, yeah, then
that definitely happened.
Yeah, then we'll like, yeah, okay, we take a drink for that. And if we get it wrong, it doesn't matter, because these drinks don't really matter for anything anyway. We'll also take a drink if Lawrence mixes up what we can know from Lucy, the single specimen of Australopithecus, with what we can know about any wider taxon to which she belonged on the basis of other finds. We call that ad hominid. We only get one of those per stream, though. We'll also take a drink if Lawrence Tisdall cites a source, and rather than supporting his case, it actively contradicts his case. We will take a drink for that. We call that Trojan source. We've already had at least one big one for him on Trojan source, which was a stupendously dishonest thing that he did.
Stupendously is a good word for it.
Thank you.
It was bad.
I have many words.
Yeah, and a lot of them are good, and some of them aren't great.
You know, in Old English, poets were said to have word hoards, and I like to think that every once in a while I open up my word hoard and I pull one of the parts of the hoard out. And
confirmation that dinosaurs are also dragons.
Probably. Just don't tell the creationists; they'll go crazy with that. Yeah.
Womp womp.
We'll also take a drink if Lawrence mentions that political party that was super popular in Germany in the 1930s into the 40s. We will also take a drink if either Cheshire or I can successfully predict what's coming up next with Lawrence, where it's not very, very obvious. Also, if I screw up the production, note it's not if the production screws up at all, it's if I screw it up. We take a drink called Dapper's a Professional. So that would be things like if I accidentally mute Chesh, or I play the wrong video, or something like that. That's Dapper's Professional. We take a drink. If, on the other hand, like my OBS crashes, or YouTube goes down, or lightning strikes the house or something, that's not on me. We don't take a drink for that. So, let's see. We'll also take a drink if anyone membership chats or super chats. There it is. Anything to the effect that
I believed in you.
yes, that answers in Genesis are a bag of dicks. We'll take a drink for that. We'll also take a drink for each gifted membership up to a certain point. I'm currently drinking a mango cider. It's actually an apple cider with mango in it, but like it tastes a lot like mango, so I'm going to keep calling it a mango cider. And I have 5 more. So if we get 30 or more of the gifted memberships that need to be consumed, I'm just going to finish what I have and go get another one and increment the drink counter rather than trying to count out that many. Let's see.
That makes sense.
Yeah. We'll also take a drink if audibly we can hear Godzilla or Mothra come by. That is a thing that happens semi-randomly. And, yeah, I think that covers it. Is there anything that I'm missing that anyone notices, Chesh? You noticing anything? All right.
No, I don't think so. I think you got it all.
All right, well, that being said, before we actually...
I am terribly unreliable, though.
Well, that's true. Before we actually get into this, I do want to say that if you decide to play along, first of all, please note that you should pace yourself. You should know your limits. Do not drink to excess. If you decide that you don't want to play with alcohol at all, that's also okay. You are allowed to play with whatever you want. You want to play with water, juice, tea, coffee, soda, have at it. You want to play with potato chips, vape pen, I don't care.
I did bring snacks for this.
Well, there you go. As long as you're safe about it. And also, after you play this, do not then go out and text your ex, operate heavy machinery, drive a car, fly an airplane.
If you're going to text your ex, you should actually give me your phone and let me text your ex for you.
Yes, I agree. That is good advice. All right, because here, we neither Chesh nor I nor the Dapper Dinosaur channel as a whole accept liability or responsibility in any way for anything that you do as a result of playing this game and then being a dummy. So, Arrow Dodger for $4.99 says, reminder, 50 sterilization credits qualifies non-mechanical reproductive simulation. I feel like that is a reference to something that I don't recognize. So, yeah. I don't know. Is that a reference? I feel like it must be a reference. All right. For 100 Argentinian pesos, let's see. Oh, there's been a name change here. Now I have to see if I can't read it, because it's getting cut off because YouTube's like that. Sylvan Epiglottal Stop. Oh, okay, got it. For 100 Argentinian pesos says, is it a hard cider or an ED cider? Jeez. It is, in fact, a hard cider. My cider does not have ED today. Yeah. It managed to take its little blue pill. Zerolon for $5 says, Dapper, care to explain the Ceratosaurus saddle I found in ARK? AIG is a sack of male members. I mean, the humans in ARK are horrible oppressors of dinosaur kind, and so they have made saddles for such noble beasts as Ceratosaurus.
That is kind of cruel.
It is.
And rude.
It is. But what are you going to do? They're awful, terrible beings. All right, I think that covers the drinking rules as well as all the preamble. I will note that we do have the fan funding thing here. If we can get this thing to 100%, I will have a vote for what avatar to use in my next video that I make. I'll also, at a certain point before that, Bent will get free pizza, which is, again, the only way he manages to eat now that he doesn't have a wish list anymore. So, it's that or nothing. So don't let Ben starve. Although I did give him some of the ribs that I made the other day, just because I was feeling nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's still about 1 serving left, and I plan to put them, like, maybe with some veggies and in some rice, like take the actual rib bones out, and, like,
that sounds really good.
Pull that apart with my fork because it's super, super tender. And then, yeah, just add it to some rice with some veggies.
Sounds good.
Yep. So, let's see. I think the only other thing is I am still sort of semi on vacation in that I'm doing these streams, and we will be doing Star Trek later, but like I'm not working on any scripted videos for the channel. I'm not watching Creationist stuff for the channel, other than these. I'm just kind of relaxing for a few days. So what that means is, if I pop into Discord and start talking, feel free to respond. It's, but don't post anything and at me with it. I don't care, unless a crime has been committed. There's been grievous bodily injury or death requiring hospitalization for the injury, or there's been property damage in excess of $10,000. If it's not one of those things and you at me about it, I will be upset.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Chesh, are you ready?
Yeah.
You don't, it doesn't sound like you are, but I believe you. So I'm going to hit play anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I get it. I'm with you.
The standard column was built on superposition of many different locations. So what they do is they take a location here and then they add it there. And they say this was above this one because we see this fossil here. But in fact, there's nowhere where you actually...
Wait, is this the geologic column he's talking about?
Mm-hmm.
We both just watched a video that both of us were in over on Debate Hub Official that came out and was re-released of us talking to Cylindy Linking about that. And I definitely recommend everybody go check that out and get us the watch hours. But also you should check it out anyway, because that that conversation was crazy.
Yeah. Eventually, at some point, maybe in like 5 or 6 months, it'll probably show up on this channel too. So.
Yeah, do it. It's worth watching. I actually need to talk to you about a stream once you're done being on vacation with Chris Shelton, who is an expert in coercive control and cult type stuff.
Oh, I know who Chris Shelton is.
Yeah, but I mean, your audience probably does too. But I figured I'd say anyway. And because I think him watching that and then coming on to talk to us about that experience would be really interesting.
I agree.
Yeah. So look out for that in the near future.
Wait, there should be a bingo emoji. There is a bingo emoji. Someone said
Somebody's
was no
lying.
bingo emoji. Joshua Geese. How dare, sir? All right. Here we go. Oh, wait. Sylvan Epiglottal Stop for 100 Argentinian peso says, instructions unclear. I texted my ex before playing the game. She has a restriction order on me now.
Oh, no.
Oops. By the way, the typical English phrase is restraining order. It's a subtle difference. Just letting you know.
Don't get me started on restraining orders.
Oh, no. Yeah. All right, here we go. But I didn't even respond to what he said. So, by the way, he said that there was no place where you could see the entire geological column in a row. That's actually probably not true. There are places where it's reported that you can, but even if it were, it's not really important, right? First, Chris Vids lol for $10 says, in F the USA news, hubby's Canadian citizenship certificate arrived today. Awesome. Mine is right behind. Yay, Bill C3. I can get some celebrity earwax. Can I get some celebratory earwax? Chesh trans rights. Also, AIG is a satchel of sink skinks. And
that doesn't say earwax. That says earwax.
That's what I tried to say. Maybe I just didn't say it well.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Also, Chris, I would like to talk to you about that. So if you could email me or send me a message on Discord or something, I would very much appreciate that. Because because of reasons. So please email me or send me a Discord message if you are at all connected with the Discord, because I would like to talk about that. So imagine you'd never heard of a deck of cards, right? Okay. And you come across a deck of cards where it is still in the order that it came in, but someone has taken out certain sections of it, right? And so you look at it and you're like, okay, there seems like there's some kind of pattern here, but I don't know, maybe not. And then you find another deck of cards where someone else has, without rearranging it after its packaging, right, taken another set of cards out. And now we'll just say that these are tarot cards just because people are less familiar with the ordering there, and it's probably a bit less obvious what they are, right? Because all the art's a little bit different. It's not just numbers and symbols and stuff. So, okay, cool.
All right.
And then it happens a third time. And one of the things you start noticing is, while none of the decks that you've seen have had all the cards from the tarot deck, the ones that they do have between them always come in the same order relative to the other cards. Right?
Right.
So you keep doing this, right? You keep finding decks of tarot cards that are in the original packaging order, but with some removed. And eventually, you're able to build up the correct order of all the cards in a tarot deck. And I don't know if they're all actually sold in the same order. That's just something we're taking as, as true for this exercise.
Right.
And you could make a model that says this is how tarot decks are created when they are created. This is the order in which the cards come. And you'd probably be right about that. But at no point have you seen a full tarot deck. Does that matter? Not really. So
I don't think so.
that's what's happening, right? We'll always get the same order for all the layers, even though sometimes some are missing. So, like, the Campanian always comes before the Maastrichtian in the Cretaceous, right? And the Cretaceous is always above the Jurassic, which is above the Triassic, which is above the Permian. And even if there's no Jurassic, if it goes Cretaceous, Triassic, it's still not going to go Triassic, Cretaceous, Permian. It's still going to go Cretaceous, Triassic, Permian, even though there's no Jurassic there. And so that's what they're doing.
Right.
It doesn't matter if there's a full stack of the whole geological column. All right, and I don't think I've updated this to update that last super chat, so there we go. All right.
Maybe in Dakota there's one place. So it can be found in textbooks. So it should be 160 kilometers thick.
I just want to point out that if you admit that maybe in Dakota there's one place, that invalidates your argument that they never saw the whole thing, so therefore they can't do it. So I'm just going to take a drink for Lawrence being like, well, I mean, maybe it's there. I think it is probably maybe in Dakota. Yeah, no, that's a problem, buddy.
Maybe.
And the actual place where we do see this in Dakota, it's one.
Also, Dakota isn't a place. There was a territory of Dakota, but it's now North and South Dakota. So, it's two different places. But you know what? He's not American.
He's not American. Maybe he's just getting that one wrong.
And that's fine. I don't expect everyone to be able to name all the 50 states. Although I was watching something about the Hungary elections, and the person who was talking was like, Hungary is a country you can't point out on this map. And they showed a big map of Europe, and I was like, it's right there. It's right next to Ukraine.
Right there.
It's right there. It said that. It's there. And then they just took the map down. They didn't even show which one was Hungary. I mean, I got it right, but it's like, come on, man.
Right.
Also, I find it amusing. So the prime minister elect, I suppose. His name is. It looks like Magyar, but apparently it's pronounced Majo. You know what that word means?
In what language?
In Hungarian.
No.
It means Hungarian. The dude's name is Hungarian.
That'd be like having a president of the United States named America.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Actually, it'd be more like having a president named United States.
Which would be
because
real
America's
weird.
not a real name.
Wow. I mean, there's America Chavez from the Marvel Comics. That's her name.
That's true.
Which is a real weird name.
There are people named... It is an odd name, yeah, I agree.
I would never name a child America.
We've listened to the 30 seconds of this man.
It's 1.5 kilometers. So it doesn't match the model.
What do you mean it doesn't match the model? What? Nothing about the model says how thick all the layers need to be, my dude. There's not even a part of it. It's just an ordering. In fact, when you see the model in textbooks, all the layers are usually somewhat similar in size because no one cares. Oh, apparently my first one, Magyar, was closer. I don't know. I hear it different ways, and I don't speak Hungarian, so you could tell me it was pronounced cheese, and I'd be like, well, that seems unlikely, but I can't say you're wrong.
Now let's look at the strata. So the strata, remember, is supposed to represent time. If that's the case, we have some real big issues.
So the strata represent deposition, and we know that deposition takes time, and that it happened in the past in these cases. But the strata don't themselves represent time. They're not a symbol for time. They're just things that occurred in time, were deposited and compacted and lithified over time, and that time was a while ago. But maybe, again, this is an English as a second language kind of a thing.
Oh, maybe.
We have what we call the Great Unconformity. So if you look here in the Toro Weep and Kebab formations in the Grand Canyon.
Sylvan Epiglottal stop for 100.
It's wild listening to this after having just rewatched that Cindy Lincoln conversation. Holy timing.
Yep. Sylvan
Oh.
Epiglottal Stop for 100 Argentinian pesos says, fun fact, one of the first presidents of Argentina was called Julio Argentino Roca. He was a genocidal maniac, though. Well, that's great.
Oh.
Fun name, though, I suppose. I don't know how much that matters. Rough. All right.
You see these rocks here. See different color?
Not really.
Easy to color because you see the color. The problem is, for an
The
evolutionist...
cameraman is not doing us any favors.
No, he's really not. Oh, I guess I can now see it. Okay, there's a guy standing there in a darkish layer between two lightish layers, which
Yeah.
he says is at the great conformity. I have no reason to dispute that, but like,
Sure, yeah.
I can't tell from this picture, but like, whatever.
Do we get to drink for the cameraman's a professional?
No. I mean, you can. I'm not going to stop you. But it's not an official drink.
I drink in between anyway.
True.
I can't wait that long.
Well, how long we have to wait is largely up. Well, it's partly up to the audience. They could make us chug our drinks right now if they wanted to.
Bottom
Good,
rock
true.
and the top rock, the Docks Formation, the darker sediments,
Help a girl
they're
out.
supposed to be 1 billion years old, and the top part is 500 million years old.
Okay.
How do you get absolutely no erosion for 500 million years?
What?
What makes you think there's no
Huh?
erosion? What's left is what's left
Where did
after
you
the
get
500 million years of erosion. Specifically,
He just thinks it's not factored in.
I'm just gonna. I'm gonna take a drink.
Guys, mountains are exist.
Okay. So, few things. First of all, there is a bunch of erosion there. It's specifically glacial erosion, and we can tell because the basement rock below the Great Unconformity has things like glacial tills and drop stones from glaciers. It's got glacial erosion right there. So I have no idea what you're talking about, where it's like, how do you get 500 million years with no erosion? First of all, it probably wasn't eroding for 500 continuous million years. What happened is actually that various things were being deposited, and then this little thing called snowball Earth happened, and basically glaciers pretty much covered the entire globe and scoured about several 100 million years worth of deposition off. And what we're left with is what's left, complete with the erosional marks from glaciers.
I can't believe this, because this is literally like, why are there still mountains?
Yeah, basically. Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $5 says, yes, a random dude of intermediate height, the standard young Earth creationist scale bar. Ashley Loves Blahai, who's been a member for 13 months and is at the tetrapod level, says, over 1 year, curly smiley face, no curse chat today, Mothra and a trans pride flag. And we do, in fact, support trans rights here on Dapper Dinosaur. All right, let me update the count here. Because I know everyone wants a fancy avatar, but I don't know if we're going to get it.
Mm.
You can't even put a piece of paper between the two.
What? Why would you expect to be able to? If I put two bricks on top of each other, I would probably not be able to fit a piece of paper between them because they're touching each other. What are you talking about? What do you think that
I'm drinking again.
that's it. Yeah, I'm drinking again. Do you think that the rock should hover slightly above the Great Unconformity so that you can stick paper in there? What does
he think pressure does?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the upper rock was deposited on top of the lower rock. You know, when sediment deposits on top of other things underneath it, it doesn't just hover. What do you...
Sir, your statement is very dumb.
I really, really, really want to know how he thinks it would work for you to be able to put paper between two layers of rock that's one on top of the other.
I don't know if I want to know.
No, I do. Like, do you think the rocks would hover? Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $5 says he's quite familiar drop stones. In fact, his are still missing. I mean, to be fair, he did recover them
thank you,
last time.
Josh.
And then, yes, we
this.
just got 10 gifted memberships from Joshua Geese. So Chesh is taking those drinks. I'm adding them to the counter here. And then when I start drinking, what I'm going to have Chesh do is explain why it is that you should get a pet Etter cap.
Oh, Oh, a pet ettercap. Okay, so ettercaps are really, really neat, and they have this thing. They have that, like, you know, when something's really ugly, that it's so ugly that it's cute. It's like that, and it's like you get all of the gross parts of the spider without this arachnophobia because they stand up and walk like a person. They're the size of a person, and they don't have a buttload of legs. So you can get like all the good stuff about a spider without all the arachnophobia that goes with it, except probably definitely the arachnophobia, because there is nothing I would enjoy more than taking somebody who's afraid of spiders and then having, like, in a dark room, an ettercap just sitting on the couch like a normal human. It would be terrifying.
Nice.
So you want to scare the crap out of your friends, do that.
See, it doesn't matter what D&D thing I ask Chesh to explain, she will be able to do it.
I do my best.
It's true.
I try.
Although next time I might have to do
Don't ask me about the biology stuff.
Well, next time we'll have to make you explain something from 40K and see if you've been paying attention.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm in danger.
Which means send another group of memberships so I can ask Chesh to explain a 40K thing.
It's not reasonable to say that this non-conformity represents 500 million years of time. There's actually no accumulation.
It's not reasonable.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Shut up, nerd.
So, Chesh, does dust accumulate
Yeah.
around your house?
Yeah.
Do you ever dust?
Yeah.
Does that mean that the total buildup of dust in most places around your house is actually 0, despite the fact that there is on any given day a positive buildup of dust?
No.
So you do have a positive
I don't
buildup
dust-
rate?
Yeah.
But, like, your desk currently has no dust on it that I can see.
My dust currently has no dust.
Your
or
desk.
my
I meant
desk.
desk.
Currently has
I
no
meant
dust.
desk.
Yeah, I
meant desk.
just wiped this
Right.
today.
So that means
yeah.
that as of today, we can say that the dust accumulation rate on your desk is 0.
Yes.
But how is that possible if dust keeps falling on it? I don't know. Something removes it. That's it.
Why does my desk even still exist?
It's that simple. Sometimes things take away what accumulated previously, and then it's gone. That's what an unconformity is. All right, I'm going to read these super chats, and then we're going to ask Chesh something about 40K while I take some drinks. Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $10 says, I have it on good authority that stacking a brick on top of a brick is only available in white folk and alien builds. I've heard that, yeah. This is a reference to Ancient Aliens proponents being sneering racists. Correct. I did pick up on that. Yeah. But how could these people who aren't white have figured out how to put one brick on top of other brick? That's impossible.
Unga bunga. And why are they shaped like pyramids?
Right?
The only thing that makes perfect sense to make.
The Ancient Alien guys. Yeah. Templar Warden for $2 New Zealand dollars also picks up on the Ancient Aliens thing. See, I see he learned geology from Ancient Aliens. Yep, it sure does feel that way.
Yeah.
All right. While I take these next 10 drinks, there's also a Dapper's a Professional, so there's a Dapper's a Professional because I'm screwed up that. Chesh is going to explain to you why Perturabo is both the worst and the best Primarch of all 18, 19, or 20, or 21 Primarchs.
Which one is that?
Iron Warriors.
I don't know. Because they're iron and iron's cool, probably.
Well, I didn't even start. All right, well, we'll try a different one.
Ask me something else about D&D. I know that.
No, we have to go for 40K. Who is the prettiest of all the Primarchs? Who's the prettiest?
I don't remember which ones are the Primarchs.
The answer is Sanguinius, Chesh. The
I
answer
was
is
going to say
Sanguinius.
Slanesh.
That's a Chaos God, not a Primarch. All right, fine.
Yeah.
We'll go for a
I
D&D
know.
thing. Who's the prettiest god in D&D?
So there isn't like an Aphrodite in D&D, so there isn't like, well, I mean, you can have Aphrodite in D&D. Aphrodite, you can do the Greek gods, or the Roman gods. So you could do Venus/Aphrodite if you wanted to. But if you want like the gods that are
The answer is Tiamat.
like the Faerun god. Well, listen, Linda. There's options. Serene is usually considered one of them, and she is the moon goddess, a good aligned moon goddess of the Drow, who is like the only good aligned Drow god, whose mom is Lolth, but some people will pick Lolth.
Also,
So
she's the teenage boy's favorite drow goddess.
she's naked all the time and dancing around. But also, Lolth is Coralon's wife, or was Coralon's wife, and Coralon being the prettiest girl ever, because he's relatively androgynous but generally goes by male, is like the progenitor god of the elves. So he's like the most gayest, prettiest boy there's ever been.
It's still
so
Tiamat.
like if you like, okay. Tiamat's great. I
It's
don't
gone.
deny
There
that.
is no 500 million years. Doesn't make sense.
Oh.
It does make sense, actually,
Okay.
because that's what glaciers do. Like, the Canadian Shield is, like, older than that rock, and it's exposed to the surface in many places because of glaciers. They removed way more than 500
Canadian
meal.
Shield even exist? Why is there dirt on the ground, my guy?
Yeah, like, you don't have to look hard for even older rock, even closer to the surface, with an even bigger unconformity. It's just called Canada. Like, most of Canada is just that.
Yeah.
At least most of it by landmass. Where the people live, it's not actually mostly that, because pretty much everyone in Canada lives within 10 miles of the southern border, because the rest of Canada is even more uninhabitable. But
yeah, we're working on that.
yeah, that's true.
That's a project.
Hey, congratulations, global warming. You're going to make Canada somewhat livable.
Well, it's not really although that is a factor, that is not really the main reason. The main reason why people don't live north of Canada is because it costs a lot of money and the infrastructure isn't there, and it costs a lot of money to build the infrastructure there because of the Canadian Shield.
Yep.
And that's something our government is currently investing in. If you're interested in Canadian politics, I talk about that on Thursdays.
Sylvan Epiglottal Stop for 100 Argentinian peso says, Dapper, what's the prettiest god? Trojans. No, please, not again. Yeah.
Cheers. I like that one. That's good.
It would seem to represent something laid down really quickly, wouldn't it?
No.
No.
Literally nothing you've said has given any indication of that. First of all, those basement rocks, they're often called crystalline basement rocks because they're igneous. So, sure, maybe they were laid down pretty quickly, but certainly not by a flood, because igneous, it means it's from a volcano, not from a flood.
I also hate to be I hate to be the bearer of bad news that just because it seems like it is not a good argument.
True.
Didn't have time for erosion.
That he said on the basis of literally nothing.
Because he feels like it.
Yeah, like talk about a non
It just
sequitur.
seems like that way.
I
know, right?
It doesn't have a lot of timey vibes, so I just think it was fast. Oh, okay.
Wibbly wobbly. It's not wibbly wobbly enough.
Yeah, it didn't pass the vibe check. So nope.
I called the doctor. He told me so.
Yeah. And then later on, he told me I had demons in my blood.
No.
Yep.
Water event. How about this one? This is in, if you want to take a look at some of there's a friend of mine, Canadian, called Ian Juby.
Oh, no. My favorite thing about Ian Juby was that he wondered how sex could evolve, because the only way for a male and a female to have sex is if the intermittent organ, if you will, of the male was exactly the same shape as the reproductive tract of the female, same shape, exact size, as if these are things that are like made of metal or something, and that they're not at all flexible, and that he himself doesn't belong to a species that has variability in both the shape and size of both intermittent organs and reproductive tracts for females, and yet it doesn't fit is pretty uncommon as a reason for infertility among human couples. Like, when was the last time you met a human couple who couldn't have kids because it wouldn't fit? I never have. That's Ian Juby. That's who we're getting recommended. Is the guy who seems to think that it didn't fit should be the most common reason for infertility in a couple.
There's a movement of like young earth creationists and like authoritarian populism nonsense in Canada that I stumbled across by accident a little while ago, and I stopped looking at them because they were stupid. I think I should go back to that and start like actively bullying those people so they go away.
Yeah. Actually, one of a very early video on my channel is specifically about that Ian Juby claim. Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yep.
And I hate it.
Mm-hmm. It's incredibly stupid.
It's dumb.
Yep. It also makes me wonder if Ian Juby has ever seen anyone's genitals other than his own. Like, has he ever been in the locker room?
I'm not even convinced he's seen his own at this point, to be quite honest.
There is that. Yeah. It's one of those, like, how did you get that bad at not just female anatomy, right? Because lots of people are bad at female anatomy. Including many females.
Women and men and a lot of people are bad at female anatomy because, one, we are bad at female anatomy, and two, we don't educate very well at it.
Yeah.
Because we're dumb.
But, like, imagine being so bad at both male and female anatomy that you think that unless everything is the exact same perfect shape and size, it's just not going to work.
Is this person a man?
Yes. Ian
Imagine
Juby
being
is a
so
man.
Imagine being so bad at anatomy that you've never even looked at your own dick.
Yep. Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $10 says, this is like Kent Hovind dead-ass claiming there are no arboreal animals that are transitional flyers that can only glide while living in flying squirrel range, right? Just look around, Kent. you could just go see one out on a hike.
One of the times where just look is actually a viable argument.
Right. It's like, hey, what was that?
If you consider looking up slightly.
It was an animal that disproves your entire talking point. It just went by right there. There it is on that tree.
Oh no.
Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $2 says, adequate sex education is important, people. It really is. I mean, it's most important for, like, health outcomes because people with adequate sex education are less likely to do things like become pregnant or catch diseases when they don't want to. Presumably, you never want to catch the disease, but, like, I don't know. I'm not you. There's Mothra. Take a drink from Mothra.
Presumably, you don't want to catch this.
No, Chesh, there are people who do. There are people who go out looking for that. There's a whole subgroup of people who are like, I want to get the HIV. What? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna go get it.
Oh.
It's a thing.
Why?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have not bothered to try to find out.
I don't like what you're telling me, so I'm just gonna pretend you never told me that.
There is no depth to the nonsense that happens out there.
Listen, other people are allowed to do it, so I'm allowed to do it.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. If anything was going to be something you wanted to block out tonight, the fact that there are people who look to get infected with that is probably a pretty good one.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought so.
Juby. I would really suggest go out on the internet. I think his codename is Wazulu, but
it is Wazulu. Yep.
Go out on the internet.
Right. You know what? I'm going to chalk that up to English as a second language, and I'm just going to be like, that's fine.
No, I'm not laughing at it because of, like, the words. I'm more just laughing at the concept of, like, hey, yeah, no, just go to the internet and look up blue waffle. It'll be fine, guys. Don't worry about it.
Don't do that.
He's just sending these people out there.
If you don't know what that is,
problem.
don't go look for it.
Don't listen to me.
Chesh just out here spreading incognito hazards all around my channel.
It's not against terms of service. I didn't use any F-bombs. You think that I don't know how to play loopholes?
Did you just pronounce the K in no?
No?
Yeah. Okay.
You'll find this stuff. He has a TV program that he does on Canada. Well, it's on the internet called Genesis Week, a weekly.
Yep, it's really bad.
Program, and he has
Look, it's so bad that I don't normally cover it because there's not even anything interesting enough for me to cover it. It's that bad.
Oh.
Yeah. And I cover Roger from Mud Fossil U sometimes. So imagine.
That does sound pretty bad.
Yeah, imagine how bad freaking this Ian Juby Creation Weekly or whatever it is.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bad. It sounds like some bad mojo.
Aiden Plomueo says, at least Blue Waffle isn't Rocco's Basilisk. Yeah, but unlike Rocco's Basilisk, it's also real.
Video rants that are just hilarious. And he explains this stuff really well.
Hilarious.
Ian Juby sent me he actually went out there to look at this stuff himself and took a video camera, just walked around with it. It's not the best thing to do mountain climbing holding a video camera. I'll explain why in a moment.
True. Take a drink. It's obvious why.
And also maybe just use a stabilizer.
Yeah. Although you can stabilize in post. That's also an option.
You can also stabilize. You could also learn how to edit. Imagine that.
It's actually not
What
that
a
hard to learn the
concept.
basics of editing.
It's really not. It's not a big ask.
Yeah. When I started YouTube, I basically already started knowing basically how to edit a video. I just needed to like know like the shortcuts and whatnot to do what I needed to do. And yeah, like there wasn't this section where I was like, all right, I need to learn how to edit a video. It's like, no, I know how to string shots together in an edit. I know how that works. I just need to know what the software is and how it does it.
Okay.
Yep. You gotta
So
just
here's
find
an-
a spot.
Yeah. And then I ended up using Blender because I already knew how to use Blender, which has probably been a
Yeah,
stupid
fair.
decision. But like every time anyone asks like, hey, what do you use to edit software or your videos? I'm just like Blender. And they're like, wait, really? I'm like, yeah, I don't
Why
recommend
do
it.
you?
But...
Yeah, everybody's like, why would you use Blender?
And the answer is because I already knew most of the hotkeys.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of fair.
Yeah, like G and Y and X and K, all of these do the same thing in the movie editor as they do in like the rest of Blender. So yeah.
Oh.
Issue. This rock's 75 million years old, and this one's 520 million years old, and yet it's just
And yet,
one on top
it's
of the other.
just.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what that mountain is. I don't. You say it's in Canada, like maybe. I don't know what's going on here. So you just saying it, I'm just gonna say citation or shut up. Like
C4 in the chat asked, "What's Blender?" It's an editing program.
I would not characterize it that way. It is a primarily it is 3D rendering and modeling and also simulation software that has a very well featured video editor inbuilt. Basically, the goal behind Blender is like we want to allow people to use Blender for modeling, texturing, VFX, CGI, as well as the editing part of the pipeline. So that basically you just have to download Blender, and now as long as you have like a camera and some skills, you can make a movie. Yeah, that's what Blender is. Actually, if you watch enough of my videos, you will find the occasional Blender tutorial just tossed in there for funsies. Every once in a while, I'm like, all right, here's a quick Blender tutorial. And I just do it.
You can also download Blender for free, and there's lots of videos if you want to learn how to use it.
It's true.
And it's like a sculpting. A lot of sculpting happens in Blender for digital.
I mean, I wouldn't... If what you're doing is you're going to be like a dedicated 3D sculptor, I wouldn't recommend Blender as your go-to. There are other open source ones that are a bit better. But it certainly is very useful for sculpting if you do that sometimes. Lieutenant Math Navigator for $5 says, when all you have is Blender, everything is a smoothie. Thank you. And like, there is some truth to that, right? Like, I do a lot of stuff in Blender that I don't need to. Like the the thermometer here that's showing us when we're getting to various milestones. Yeah, that's a thing in Blender I made. Chesh owns it now, so now she has Blender. Let's see. Lieutenant Math Navigator for $2 says, when Tisdall has a camera. Well, Tisdall has a camera. Yeah. It's so there's this thing, right? If someone tells you something that seems far-fetched and they don't have a citation, you should just not believe them. Right? And so if someone's like, hey, this mountain has an inversion somewhere, how do you explain that? I'm just going to say, well, what mountain, where, what publication is it that tells you that this has an inversion so I can go check to see what's going on? And if you're just like, explain it now, I'll just say, I don't know, maybe it folded. But what else do I have to say? I don't know what mountain you're talking about.
Yeah.
And Ian Juby isn't a good source. Especially not when you don't even tell me which video of his to look at.
Also, plus that guy.
Yeah. Remember, this is the guy who doesn't know how his own anatomy works.
If we look at this, the Yanuska Mountains in Banff, Canada, that's what we...
Okay, the Anuska Mountains in Banff, Canada. I don't know what those are, but we're going to look them up. Do you know what those are?
I know where Banff is.
Let's see.
You'll never guess.
It's in Canada?
Well, yes.
All right, someone is also... The internet is also saying, maybe do you mean Anushka? But that looks like it's a person.
No. Banff... Okay, so hold on. Let me try.
Oh, it's Yamnuska, not Anuska. It's Yamnuska. Okay.
Okay, you found it?
Yeah.
Because, like, it's like a Rocky Mountain holiday. Banff, Canada is out that way.
Okay, so let's see. Let's look up Yamnuska Mountains. I don't know why we're taking this much time on this. Let's see. Lieutenant Beth, the Navigator for $2 says, Juby would be very confused by hyenas. Yes, he would, actually. That's true.
Yeah, true.
See. Oh, are these part of the Rockies?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. They're part of the Rockies.
I just said that.
I was trying to read.
It's on the Alberta side of the Rockies.
Gross. All right, Landon Knoll says...
Nobody likes Alberta.
Landon Knoll for $5 says, Mothra is also the name of a new type of telescope with 1,140 high-end telephoto lenses. Jeez. Equal to a 4.8 meter f/0.08 refractor. Wow. See mothrattelescope.org with a drink. And you know what? Even though technically that doesn't count, we're going to do it anyway. Because also, hey, Landon.
Hi, Landon.
Landon, you got to set up a time to go talk to Chesh so she can record your lecture.
I think we got our time zones confused last time.
Okay.
I think that's what happened. I think we got our time zones confused.
It reminds me one time Kip was doing like a subscriber special. He's like, oh, Dapper, come hang out at this time. Sends me a time and says EST. And I think, that's a little weird that he sent me the time in EST, but whatever, I can deal with that. And then I show up. I show up and I was 3 hours late. The stream had ended 2 hours ago. And then I get a message from Kip and like, oh, I was disappointed you didn't show up. And I was like, I did show up, Kip. I showed up at exactly the time you told me. Kip? He's like, oh, I gave the wrong time zone. I meant Pacific time. I was like, oh, thanks.
Oh, no.
So that's why I'm not in that video from Kip, even though he does say during the video that I was going to be there. It's like, nope, you screwed that one up.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
Just looked at the Yamnuska Mountains. If we look at the, here's close by, you can see there's really there's no slickicides. So slickicides are when rocks, what they say is that rocks beside, they moved over these ones.
Mm-hmm.
But when rocks move over things, they sort of scrape them up. And they call these slicken slides. But there are no slicken slides in this rock. So it doesn't show any evidence of having slid over the other rock.
Dude, I don't even know what you're talking about.
You're
You're just naming a mountain and saying there's an inversion and there's no evidence of the inversion. Show me the mountain. Tell me what paper found this. Was it just Ian guessing with his camera? Because that's what you cited.
With a shaky camera that we can't read because it's shaky as hell.
Dustin J. Carroll just joined the channel at the tetrapod level. Thank you very much. Like, I don't even know what to say other than just like, I don't know, show me what you're actually talking about. Just saying, oh, there's a mountain, and G and Juby said it was weird. Okay, great. Hey, hey, Lawrence, I checked inside your heart and I didn't find Jesus there, so I guess God's not real. You gonna believe me? You think that's a good source? I mean, I just did it. I looked at it. I can see right now. There's no God in there, so you're wrong. What are you gonna do with that? Probably nothing. You're probably going to ignore that if you ever come across this. And you should, because it's really dumb. It's a dumb thing for me to say. Lieutenant Math Navigator for $2 says, just use UTC like civilized people, right? We should just all switch to UTC. And people are like, but then I won't know when to go to bed. Yes, you will. You'll figure it out. It won't be that hard.
It won't be that hard. You will be able to figure it out. It's true.
Yeah. You just use a 24-hour clock. And yeah, sure, the date's going to tick over at a weird time of day. Whatever.
And also stop using the other thing. What is it? The stop changing the time frame. The
daylight savings time.
Daylight savings time or whatever. Yeah, whichever one it is.
Yeah, daylight savings time is dumb.
Daylight savings time is dumb.
Did you notice that was it BC decided to go on permanent daylight saving time?
What?
Yeah. British Columbia.
Yes, I did see that.
No more standard time for them. They're always on Pacific Daylight Time. Which means
they did do that. It's true.
Which means it's always the same time here in Arizona as it is in British Columbia.
Correct.
Which is a little weird.
Castle Mountain in Banff, Canada. 600 million years, 200 years, 400 million years missing.
That's what an unconformity is, buddy. That's a thing that we expect to have happen because of this thing called erosion.
It's part of the equation.
How is as a creationist do you look at an unconformity, which is a thing caused by erosion and weathering, and then say, where's the erosion? You're looking at it. That's what that is. What do you think you should see?
This is like I'm showing you an apple that has wormholes in it, and I said there was a worm in this apple, and you're telling me, show me where?
Right? I don't...
Like, bro, it's... Please.
Where's the contact line? There's no contact line.
What do you mean? Show me on the camera, because what you're telling me is that these rocks are what? Floating above each other? Is that what you mean by there's no contact line? They don't touch each other? Is there a cave?
There's
What do you
no
mean?
touching zone.
What do you mean
It's
there's no contact
Trudeau's
layer?
ditch.
It is. It's Trudeau's ditch, but in a mountain.
But in a mountain.
Except that even with the ditch, there is a touching. The land actually still touches.
Oh
This is
no!
so... I'm taking a drink. This is too dumb. There's no contact line.
It's so dumb.
It's literally the contact between the two layers of rock. That's the contact line, buddy.
This is amazingly stupid.
And the great thing
He's
is,
getting worse.
our cameraman isn't even showing us what he's talking about. So I don't even entirely know what we're talking about.
It actually just melds one into the other.
Lawrence,
What?
I want you to describe what you think should be there. If science is correct, what do you think should be there that it isn't? Because I don't understand. Because earlier you were like, you can't even fit paper between them. I don't know why you think you could, but it's the only thing I can think of is that you think there should be floating rocks to represent where there's been erosion. Using the rock should float.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
Like, I don't understand what he's even trying to say at this point.
I don't either. It's just incomprehensible nonsense.
Would mean it's the same time. Here's in the Grand Canyon. You see these formations,
Oh, now we get to see them.
hundreds of millions of years difference, and yet it goes from the lower, middle, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher. And so what you actually have is a mixing of the two.
Okay, we'll talk about this in a second. Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $2 says, Banff has floating mountains like Pandora. Yeah, just like from Avatar.
Oh,
The not as good Avatar.
problem solved.
Sorry if you like the Avatar movies more than Avatar The Last Airbender. I think Avatar The Last Airbender is better. You can disagree. It's fine. Okay, so
You're wrong.
So interbedding happens when basically there's some pressure that is coming from a lateral direction, and it forces some sediment that has already been deposited in between weak points in underlying rock, as long as there's actually room for that, which is a thing that happens, right? And like this is a well understood thing that geologists can recognize and can watch form in real time, and like, yeah, that's just a real thing. And I don't know why Lawrence thinks it's not. Like, does Lawrence think that like we don't know how interbedding occurs? Like that geologists are stumped by this, that they don't have very, very good models for it?
I have a very distinct memory of one time when Lawrence Tisdall was like in my area and we ended up getting his stupid DVD explaining all this. And I distinctly recall because I watched them multiple times, because one of the reasons why I'm not into most of the religious stuff that I was into is because I actually asked these questions. So he was positing these questions and I would note the question down and then I would go and ask or look it up myself. Anyway.
Yeah.
One of the things he distinctly talked about was plate tectonics. And he was saying that plate tectonic science doesn't make any sense because how do you get one to go over top of the other or like go up? Take two pieces of styrofoam, put them in the bathtub and push them together and see what happens. They're just going to push against each other and then crumble. And it's like, but if you do that experiment and you push hard enough and you use enough force, it fucking explodes and one definitely will go up over the other one, especially if the force is not equal. So it's like, yeah, admittedly, it does take a lot of force to bring one up or tip one the other way or crunch them together to go upwards, but it's not impossible. We're talking about massive, massive, massive amounts of force. So like, it's the same kind of problem. He's just like positing and throwing incredulity around like there aren't answers. And it's like, you're literally looking at it, my guy.
Yep. Yeah, and
God.
by the way, if you want to know more specifically, like if you want to go do your own research on exactly what kind of thing we're talking about here, I don't actually know that this is interbedded Muav. I'm just going to take his word for it here. But what that means is that it's actually intercalation in the interbedding, which is a specific kind of interbedding. But like,
Right.
I already described more or less how it works. You can go research it more. It's a real thing, and just dismissing it doesn't mean anything because you actually have to tell me why it can't just be intercalation. Sylvan Epiglottal.
Well, and that's... Sorry, go ahead.
Sylvan Epiglottal Stop for 100 Argentinian pesos says, sure, Canada can have floating mountains, but volcanoes are a step too far. Yeah, Canada has no volcanoes. That's what I hear.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yep.
In the chat, Chris says, Chesh, you're not supposed to actually find answers. You're supposed to take his word for it. And like, yeah, that, but also word for what? Like his word for what? He's not telling me, he's just telling me that this thing is wrong. He's not telling me what it actually is.
Yeah.
And he's not explaining what it actually is either. He's just like, again, throwing in credulity. This is the same thing that flat earthers do. Instead of presenting their own model, presenting their own science, doing their own science, they just try to poke holes in the science that exists and throw incredulity at it like it's spaghetti at a wall, seeing what's going to stick. And it's like, well, you guys have money. You can hire scientists. You can go and take the courses. You could go and do an experiment and find out. I'm pretty sure Lawrence Tisdall probably has a bathtub. He could probably go and find some styrofoam, and he could probably smush them together and film it and see what happens.
Lieutenant Math Navigator for $2 says, I cast nuh-uh. Yeah, that is basically
If
what
I
Lawrence
could do
is
it
doing.
in high school, he can do it now.
Yeah, but maybe you were just at a really good high school and he's actually just really, really dumb.
No, I mean, I was high school age.
Yeah, at a good high school and he's just really, really dumb.
I mean, it's possible. The high school that I went to is pretty cool looking. I should send you guys some pictures sometime. It was spooky.
Yeah,
It's haunted.
I've seen it. It looks like a haunted asylum.
Yeah.
That would simply mean that this is the same age as that.
No, it wouldn't. Because that's not what
It
intercalation
would
does.
simply just mean this thing.
Yeah, and even if it were,
Ugh.
even if the interbedding is actually just normal interbedding, where like the depositional environment goes back and forth across some number of years, it would still mean that the lower levels are younger than the upper levels, and that the Muav and the red wall transitioned into each other over the course of the period of time that interbedding happened over. And if it's intercalation, then it actually still leaves the red wall as significantly older than the Muav. But there isn't a young Earth option here, because here's the thing about sandstone, which, or not sandstone, sorry, limestone, which both the Muav and the red wall are. Or is the Muav? I think the Muav might actually be sandstone. Anyway, here's the thing about limestone. Biogenic limestone, which is what the red wall is, accumulates depositionally at like a centimeter a millennium. And that's about as good as it gets. And then, before it can lithify, it has to be compacted by an overburden, which then squeezes it down to be 7 to 10 times thinner than original. And then it can lithify. And the red wall limestone is in places about 100 meters thick. So we multiply that by, say, 5, just to be generous, and we get 500 meters or so of original limestone. And then we multiply that by the number of 1,000. So we get 500,000 centimeters. And that's about how many years minimum it took to accumulate that much overall. How are you going to fit that into a flood that only lasts a year? I don't think you can.
I hate the time scaling. I hate the time scaling so much.
Is limestone in the same family as lemonstone? Sure. Why not?
They're the same kind.
Yeah, definitely the same kind.
Not a deposition, a slow deposition over time.
Nothing you said there indicates that that's not the case. Literally nothing. But you know what? We're going to take a quick break. We're going to have an intermission up here, and I'm going to get myself a fresh cider, and y'all can go and get, whatever refreshments you need. Also, Sylvan Epiglottal stop for 100
want some lemon
Argentinian
cake.
pesos. Some lemon pound cake?
Oh.
Mama's lemon pound cake.
Ah!
All right. So Sylvan Epiglottal Stop for 100 Argentinian peso says, by the way, bingo, what's my prize? Bragging rights.
Good job.
Yeah, bragging rights. All right. We will be back in just a little bit and hope that you all stick with us. And if you don't, then you're awful. All right, we'll be right back. All right, we are back. I did quickly switch to the wrong video, so we'll take a drink for that. So Dapper's a professional here. All right. So we have come to that time that's always a little weird because, like, the commercial time. And I don't know, it feels a little gross for me, but it also is really important. So basically, this channel is almost entirely supported directly by people taking their hard-earned bucks and sending some of them to me. Whether that be through Patreon, through the channel memberships, through super chats, super stickers, super thanks, merch, any of those things. It all adds up and it all helps. And the channel basically wouldn't exist, at least not in the current form, were it not for that. That being said, this month is looking rough. I'm gonna be honest with you. And so, if you would like for me to not end up in the red, probably next month, because that's when I get money from the channel is next month. If you could check out the Discord, not the Discord, sorry, the Patreon, or the channel memberships, that'd be great. The Patreon starts at $1 a month. The memberships start at $1.99. There's a 15% discount if you pledge annually on the Patreon. Both of them give you early access to my scripted videos. Both of them give you access to my Discord server. Let's see. The memberships also give you the channel badge, as well as your name goes to green, and you get channel emojis and a free membership chat every month. Well, no additional charge membership chat. If it were free, you wouldn't have to pay for it, but you do. So, yeah. So please check those out. There's also the merch store that's linked in the description, as well as below this video, there's a merch shelf where you can peruse. There's way more than we have on there. There are tank tops, there are baby onesies, there are phone cases, stickers, blankets, pillows, all sorts of stuff. So check those out if you want to. And yeah, it really does matter, because this is the thing that I'm trying to do as a full-time gig. And so you guys have kept me in the black for many months now in a row, many years in a row, actually. And I am really appreciative of that. And I want to hopefully have that be a thing that keeps up, because it is way easier for me to justify doing this as a job if you do that. So, and then we just got 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships. So thank you very much. I'm going to describe how to render for me, if that's something you want to do. And then we'll take those 5 drinks while Chesh tells us which Space Marines are her favorite. Not now. You gotta wait. Okay. So, if you want to render for me, you can drink. I don't care. If you want to render for me, what you do is you check out the description. And in the description, there's going to be a section called How to Render for Me. And the way you do that is by clicking on the link that will take you to a place where you can download the Sheepit client. That's the render farm I use. And then you install that on your computer, and you use the login information from that section, which will allow Sheepit to count your rendering as rendering for me. And so most of the time what you'll do is you'll end up rendering for other people, and that will give me points. And then when it's time for me to render, how high priority my frames are will depend on how many points I have. And when it is time for my frames to render, if you are on Sheepit, you will preferentially get my frames, assuming your computer can handle them. Which not everyone's can, but most people's can. So there you go. I'm going to take these 5 drinks pretty much right now, and Chesh is going to describe to you which Space Marines are best.
Salamanders. Because they're neat, and they're cool, and they're underrated.
I can't disagree with any of that.
Yeah. I know what's up.
All right. You made a compelling choice.
I thought so.
I know it's not clear how much my appreciation of salamanders influenced your decision, but you know. Sean,
instructions unclear.
Well, that's fair. Also, you did join not like an operation, but you did join me to see if it worked in Space Marine 2, and you got to see my my salamander's colors.
I do like your salamander's colors. It's very cool looking. But that finished my drink, so now I gotta go.
My goodness.
I really didn't think I would have to walk away as soon as we got back. I'm not gonna lie.
Shano07AU, who's been a member for 14 months, says Mothra. Sorry, it says Godzilla Mothra Ghidorah, which means we're taking another drink, Chesh, for when you get back.
I can hear you.
I know, but they can't tell that, so it makes it seem more realistic if I raise my voice like you can't.
Yo, this is my last beer. I gotta go get more beer.
Why didn't you do that beforehand?
Because I don't think I'm gonna finish this beer before we're done. But I mean, these guys are welcome to prove me wrong.
Let's prove Chesh wrong. Here we go.
If you guys prove me wrong, I will open up the gin and take a full-on shot.
Yo, let's do it.
Now, the theory of the old Earth is this, that the Earth is 4.6 billion years old and 37 seconds.
That's just a lie, but okay. I'm taking a drink.
37 down to the second.
No one has ever said that. The error margin on that is like 100,000 years. Like, what are you talking about?
That's great.
Okay.
I like how extra stupid
precise.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it? It's the central dogma of evolution upon which all evolutionary theory depends.
Dogma?
I want to point out that evolutionary theory was first basically created by Darwin. And at Darwin's time, we thought that the Earth was maybe a few million years old. No one thought it was 4.6 billion years old. And you know what Darwin said to that? I don't care. I think I'm right anyway.
I don't think evolution cares about the age of the universe.
Although it does care a little bit about the age of the Earth because
yes.
Yeah.
But not the universe.
No, not really. Oh my goodness, I think we just got 10 more memberships sent in.
Yeah, we did.
5 from Templar Warden and 5 from Joshua Geese. All right. We're We're gonna make you take that gin shot. All right. So, and also, Thylacolion
And an upgrade.
Kennedy upgraded to Seropsid. Thank you very much. That is that is the second highest tier I have on here. All right. So now that Chesh has taken those, I'm going to increment the drink counter by 10. And Chesh is going to have to tell you why it is that dragon turtles are underutilized in Dungeons and Dragons games.
Okay, so it's not really a good thing. So I don't really have it's not justified under usage, but it is underutilized. And one of the reasons they're underutilized is specifically because not very many dungeon masters tend to do a lot of ocean stuff. And the reason a lot of dungeon masters don't tend to do a lot of ocean stuff is for a couple of reasons. One is it's very limited combat space. Two, there's not a lot of there's a good number of ocean monsters, quote unquote, and creatures, but they're not really very well established as an ecosystem in the books. So you have to do a lot of finagling. Also, sea hags low key kind of suck. And so because a lot of the ocean stuff really, really is, one, incredibly risky, two, incredibly it's harder to run just in general from an environment standpoint, even though there's lots you can do with it. It's just a lot of additional effort. And specifically dragon turtles, they just really don't think about them. They just really don't think about them. And it's kind of crazy that they don't. And dragon turtles are actually really strong.
Quick follow-up. The turtle island that Aang found, was that a dragon turtle?
Yeah. No, that was a lion turtle.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, unfortunate, but alas. Do you want to know a secret for Friday? No, too bad you don't get to know.
I already asked if this island was turtle-shaped, and if it turns out to be a turtle, and it wasn't turtle-shaped, I will be very upset.
Be prepared to be upset.
Damn it.
In fact, I can guarantee that if you talk about the age of the Earth as I do, somewhere along the way, someone's going to explode.
What?
I don't believe
Is it me? Am I the one that's gonna explode? I might explode.
You know, my grandmother used to take nitroglycerin as medicinally, and all of her grandkids used to joke that she would explode. You can use heart medication. Funny. Yeah, but we're all like, oh, careful. Oh, she's gonna explode.
That's fun.
Don't startle grandma. She might pop.
I really like the idea of grandma's gonna explode. That sounds like a good time.
Also, take a drink from Mothra.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I think we already exploded.
They take bets when I'm in France. We'll see what happens in this trip.
On episode 2.
Every time I've gone to France, there's one professor at some point who's going to lose it. Just starts screaming and running out the door.
First of all, I don't believe you.
What?
I don't believe you.
Can I get X to doubt in the chat, please, everybody? X to doubt in the chat.
This is a story that didn't happen. Here's a drink for that.
Yeah, that's a story that, that's fake news. Fake news!
But as far as yelling at you, I mean, I wouldn't be terribly surprised. Remember that time that Buzz Aldrin punched out a moon landing denier?
Yeah! That was great.
At a certain point, when you go around telling people who've dedicated their entire lives to doing something, to helping us learn about the universe, to actually doing
risk their lives doing so.
Yeah, in some cases, risk their lives doing so. And you just completely ignore all that, and you say completely idiotic bullshit to their face, at some point, someone's going to lose their temper. Yeah.
Yeah. Reasonably so, especially if you're getting in their face about it and interrupting their classes and yada, 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 yada. Yeah, X is in the chat. By the way, there's an X emoji. And I don't know about you. Okay.
Why did the
I have this
just
fancy
ring?
thing. Oh. I have this fancy thing on my streams that I think we should encourage Dapper to get, which is called the emoji wall, which is when you guys send emojis, the emojis start flying across the screen. And I think X to doubt and then using the X emoji is a really, really valid way to use it, because then there's just tons of X's flying around everywhere. It's also really great when you have a brick emoji, because there is a brick emoji and it looks different on your screens on YouTube than it will on the chat. So when it flies across the screen. When it flies across the screen, it'll look like a brick with 2 holes in it, like a regular red brick. But when you post it in the side chat, it looks like a wall of bricks. Yeah, look at how many X's there are. There's so many X's. So the only ones that don't work, just so you guys know, if you decide to use this, it works on my stream. You should come by sometime and just spam emojis and you'll see what happens. but the your personalized emojis don't work. So Mothra emoji isn't going to work, and the bingo emoji unfortunately will not work. Personalized emojis work on Twitch, but not on YouTube. So I think that's something that they're just working on, and it's just not available yet, but might work eventually. But how much fun would it be to be able to get a bunch of Flagituticats, throwing them at Dapper because they're all over the screen?
I thought you wanted me to do this.
You guys should do this. I just explained why the Flagituticats wouldn't work.
Gross.
They wouldn't work.
Gross.
They wouldn't work. It's okay. You should totally do it.
The doorbell rang because the neighbor kids tossed their balls over the wall again, and I told them that that's rough. You're gonna have to come back in a couple hours.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yep. So, sorry, neighbor kids.
Why do they have to come back in a couple of hours?
Because I'm streaming right now.
Oh, because we're busy.
Yeah,
I
we're
would
busy.
just let them in.
I'm not gonna let them in. What if they What if a dog bites them or something, and then we get sued?
What? Oh, yeah, right. You live in America.
Yeah, where dog bites are like, that's a tort. A friend of mine is actually just wrapping up a lawsuit over someone's dog biting her.
Man, your country is silly.
Should try to get them to pay for all the reconstructive surgery. Because
fair enough.
she was missing like a tenth of her lip.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
I got bit by a dog. I didn't sue anybody.
Well,
I got bit in the face.
sorry?
Loses it. He can't control themselves anymore because this is too powerful. When you show the Earth is young,
Which you haven't done, Lawrence. You haven't even attempted it. You've just been you've just been pointing at things and be like, hey, how come? And then I don't even know what the answer is because I'm not always sure what you're pointing at.
Bro, but what about Unga and Bunga? Have you not considered Unga and Bunga?
everything falls apart. It's gone.
Yeah,
Very powerful. Consequence. There's a deep interest in
He's
motivating.
right. Things fall apart.
Thanks, Chinua Achebe. The author of Things Fall Apart.
Oh, Prixie makes a good point. I think it's silly that people are suing because of like things like reconstructive surgery and like dog bites. But I live in Canada where there's healthcare, so good point.
Yeah.
Valid.
In maintaining the ideology of an old Earth, because the central dogma. Let's look at these radiometric dating.
Okay.
So if we take potassium to argon, we'll get the carbon-14 later. That's an organic method. Potassium, argon. So the function is to date volcanic rock. Remember, we can't date sedimentary rock. We can't date fossils.
Is that correct?
So
I would say argon, but like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I would say argon also. Okay.
All right. Maybe it's the French way to say it.
Argon.
Yeah. Argon.
Argon.
Je veux d'argon.
Lieutenant Navigator for 5 says, when I act like an asshole, people treat me like an asshole.
Yeah, that is basically
that is it.
Yep.
You got it. You figured it out. You broke the code. You cracked it.
We figured it out, everybody. Good job.
Yay.
All right, let me update that there. All right, here we go.
we're going to date volcanic rock.
I'm more of an igneous rock kind of guy myself.
Did he actually almost say magnetic rock?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. That's just a misspeak, so I'm not going to give him too hard of a time about it, but I just wanted to make sure I heard that correctly.
If the rock is igneous and it's magnetic, you could still probably date it.
Yeah, fair.
I hear that magnetic igneous rock is into like jazz and also really likes gin cocktails. So that's a pro tip for your date with it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And we can look at potassium. So the idea is you start off with potassium, radioactive potassium, in the rock. Now, it would be good to know the initial concentration. You have to make some guess.
No, actually, often you don't. And the reason for that is that in many cases, the rocks that we're testing have known chemical properties. And that determines whether or not certain elements can get in there. Now, I don't actually remember the exact answer for potassium argon, but here's one thing. Chesh, have you heard of the noble gases?
Yes.
Would you be surprised to know that argon is among them, along with xenon and helium and some others?
I don't think that would surprise me. I think I remember that.
Okay. So, what does that mean? What does it mean that you're a noble gas?
You have a court jester and some other gases that are in charge of other places as vassal states.
You're thinking of the wrong part of nobility.
Oh.
You got to think snootier and less actual, like the structure of a court.
You don't like dealing with other gases.
Or anything else for that matter. Yeah.
Or anything else for that matter. You are elusive and uppity, and you don't like interacting and combining with the lower class.
Exactly. Which means that except in extraordinary circumstances, noble gases do not form compounds. They also do not form like diatomic structures like O2 or N2 or H2, which are the diatomic molecules of oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen. Right? They don't do that. So,
okay.
Let's say you had a bunch of magma or lava, and it's going to start cooling, and the elements in it are going to start forming crystals. What's argon going to form a crystal with?
One of the other noble gases.
No, because it doesn't mix with them either.
Oh, it's super snooty.
Yep.
It's uber snooty.
So what's it going to form a crystal with?
Argon?
Nope. Doesn't even mix with other argon.
Oh, what's it doing then? I don't know.
Nothing. It's coming out of solution. It's outgassing.
It's doing nothing.
It's leaving.
Of course it's a lazy douchebag.
As the lava or magma cools, the argon comes out of solution and just frickin' leaves. Which means if you have argon... It's just
like, I'm out of here, Jan. I don't want nothing to do with your nonsense.
Which means if you find argon in these crystals, how'd it get there? It got there because something else decayed into argon.
Because...
That's how.
Yeah, because it's there because it wants to be there.
No, it doesn't. It specifically doesn't. But
it doesn't want to be anywhere.
But it formed there.
It wants to be gone.
Yeah, but it formed there. So whenever we come to like argon or
now it's stuck,
helium or things like that, we have a really good indication that all of it is daughter, because there can't be any parent original argon. At least not any more than tiny traces. Templar Warden for 5 new
lesson in chemistry.
Yay! You always learn stuff when you're here.
Yeah.
Templar Warden for 5 Kiwi bucks says magnetic rock is very attractive. So if you're aligned, if you're so aligned. Also, AIG is a bag of fascists. They absolutely are. Take a drink for that.
Yeah, they are. They suck. Screw those guys.
Had someone tell me that I was taking extremist political points by saying that young Earth creationism was by and large a propaganda wing of Christian nationalism. And it's just like... Have you been hiding under a rock for the past decade?
Where have you been? Like, yeah, what are you talking about?
What is going on? Lieutenant Math Navigator for $5 says, noble gases don't form compounds, unlike Kenthoven.
I'm drinking for that.
Yeah, you know what? Sure, why not? Take a drink for that. Because again, the drink count doesn't actually matter. It's just a thing.
You don't have to put it on the counter.
It's
just like, I'm just doing it.
I did
it's
anyway.
For me.
And then we got 5 more Dapper Dinosaur memberships.
Hey!
Which means that while I take my 5 drinks, Chester's going to do it now. But when I'm done, what she's going to tell us is, you know those fish people in Dungeons & Dragons who ride sharks and form whirlpools and everything? How do you spell their name and how do you pronounce that?
Okay, so technically you are incorrect. The priestess does not actually have that level of spellcasting. So I cheated.
It doesn't
matter.
They're
not supposed to have control water. They're not. I'm correcting you.
Okay.
That's what it is. I don't know how to spell it off the top of my head. I can pull my book out. I've got it right here.
SAHUAGIN.
Sanguines.
No, it's definitely not sanguine. Show it to the camera. We'll see what everyone else thinks.
I'll show you. I'll show you. Listen, I refuse to accept
correction.
I am the DM. It's pronounced the way I say it.
No.
That's how that works.
No, I'm not going to learn a whole new version of English just for your game. This is in Planescape.
I think it's supposed to be Sawajin, but it's these guys.
Oh, let it focus. Yeah, SAHUAGIN, Sawajin.
Yeah, SAHUAGIN. I think it's Sawajin, but I was calling them sanguines because I don't know how to read. But technically, the priestesses, which is the ones that could cast spells, have 4 first-level spell slots, 3 second-level spell slots, and 3 third-level spell slots, and control water is a 4th-level spell.
That's actually really good. That's relatively high-level casting.
Yeah, it's relatively high-level casting, but like I wasn't too impressed with the way combat was going, so I was like, I'm gonna let them do a thing.
Okay, here we go.
So I let them do a thing.
Guys, if you want to see all this stuff firsthand, go over to Top Hats Off.
I thought it was fun.
I had fun. Joshua Geese for $5 says, yes, the Spellcaster, the less popular model of the Telecaster.
Yay.
All right, here we go.
And it'll change over to calcium and argon. Argon is a gas. And so what you do is you measure in the rock the amount of argon, the ratio of K40 to R40, and it takes, they estimate it takes 1.3 billion years for half of the K40 to be changed to non-radioactive in the argon.
Hey, that's
so in other words,
take a drink.
if you found, the idea would be,
Hooray.
if you found, the idea is you start off with no argon, just potassium 40, and then if you have half ratio, then you've gone over 1.3 billion years.
Well, no, not quite, because remember, the other decay chain leads to calcium 40, which means you have to know what the proportion is between which ones go which way, because this is actually one of the more complicated decay chains. So normally we think of atomic decay as like, you start with this, you end up with this, problem solved. But some isotopes actually have 2 different ways that they can decay, and they have a ratio of how often they decay from one to the in one way versus the other. And so if you ever actually look at a decay chain, like in writing, which is something I had to do for nuclear power school, you can actually see that sometimes they branch, and sometimes they actually branch more than once. And so it'll say like, 40% decay this way with like beta emission, and then 60% will decay via alpha emission, right? And so you have to take that into account. And because this is one of those complicated decay chains, we don't just look at that ratio and assume that all the potassium is turning into argon. We also assume that whatever the actual ratio is, I don't know, turns into calcium, right? And so even though we're not testing for the calcium, we still discount the amount of argon by that ratio. So if it's 50% argon, right, then we say, well, we assume that whatever the half-life is, it would produce this much decay product. And if half of it's argon, then we use that factor to multiply in to the amount of argon. So it's a little bit more complicated than what he's saying. But if it were a simpler decay chain, like any of the ones that end in lead, in which case they pretty much all end in the same way with very few branches, then yeah, that's roughly what's happening. And I'm not even saying he's wrong. This is probably how I would describe it to a bunch of people who didn't know anything about this topic. But I want to educate you guys about how radioactive decay works and how there are in fact split decay chains that you have to figure out ratios for and stuff like that. So, and hey, I went to school for that in the Navy. The Navy had me sit down with a chart of different nuclides with likely decays on them, and gave you problems like, hey, after this long, what daughter elements would you expect out of this one? Or hey, given this isotope, how would it most likely decay? And one time, we were allowed to ask the teachers, not professors, but whatever, the instructors, to clarify what the chart said if it was hard to read, because they were photocopying these charts.
Oh yeah.
And so in one case, I was like, okay, I think it says this, but it's smudged and gross and weird. And so I asked the instructor, I was like, hey, what does this say? And he was like, oh, that's beta minus decay. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, that doesn't sound right, but it's what he said, so I'll just mark it down. And I got that one wrong. And the right answer was what I thought it was, but not what the instructor said. And I got that wrong reversed, because I said, hey, remember how I asked you about this one and this is what you said, but I pointed to the right square? It's like, yeah, that did happen. Could I get those points back? And so we brought that to like the people who do the grading. They were like, oh yeah, okay, sure. And I got points back on a test because the instructor screwed up.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I found out long after I graduated that somebody made a periodic table with Pokemon. And I'm like, where was this when I was in high school? I would have had that memorized in 30 seconds.
All right, for $5.
I should probably go and memorize it now, to be honest, because like
very few people actually
to
have the whole periodic table memorized. It just never comes up.
Yeah,
for
but
most
like
people.
if you put it as Pokemon, it'll stick in my
fair
brain
enough.
like it's nothing. I would just have to spend like an hour with it.
Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $5 says, "Don't be too hard on yourself, Chesh. You're much more literate than Kent Hovind." True.
Thanks. That's a low bar.
It's a low bar, but it's still true.
I don't know if I'm insulted or not.
Orange
That
dot.
bar is so low, I don't know if you're insulting me.
Orange dot for $2 says, spend it in one place or you won't get anything. Okay, I will spend those $2 in one place.
Oh.
Promise. All right.
That's
Here we go.
actually literally true, though, right? You noticed that?
What is?
It's literally true that if you tried to spend those $2 in more than one place, you wouldn't get anything because you wouldn't have enough money.
Yeah. There's still some places that have candy for less than $1 that I could probably go to.
You think so?
Oh,
without the tax?
Yeah. I mean, it was.
Fair enough.
I think it was like 5 years ago. I was in Maine in a place that had like a 5-cent candy. No, 5 cent got you a hard candy.
Whoa.
So I'm not talking about like a bag of candy. And also, if you're there, why are you buying the hard candy and not the taffy or the peanut brittle?
Oh.
Yeah, you should definitely buy the saltwater taffy or the peanut brittle. Now I want peanut brittle. Jeez. Stuff is so good.
I kind of want brownies.
Well, you have to contact your family member and her significant other first.
Sundial.
No one gets that.
Sorry, I saw Ashley said Cheshire's roughly as literate as an average Jujutsu Kaisen fan on Reddit. My feelings.
Oh, Rushna says 2 cans of Arizona iced tea for $2. That actually is an option. Yeah, actually, the grocery store has them on sale right now for 89 cents a can for Arizona iced tea, and they're still in the gigantic cans. And I'm like, okay, these things have been 99 cents since the 90s.
Yeah, these guys have worked really hard. Well, by worked really hard, I mean not taking huge amounts of cuts and trying to screw over their employees.
Right.
Those guys and the Costco guys.
Shop at Costco. Buy Arizona iced tea in Costco. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
On a game,
boom.
pretty much like a Sundial. Problem is, you don't know how much is there in the initial element.
Yeah, you do though. You do, because remember what we went over with argon? How there can't really be any noticeable amount of argon because it's a noble gas, and so it will outgas during the cooling process. Yeah, that's still a thing, Lawrence. Lawrence, if you're going to talk about chemistry, maybe you should know the first damn thing about chemistry. I don't know. Do you even know what an electron orbital is? Do you know what electron shells are, Lawrence? Do you know what ions are? Do you know the difference between an ion and an atom and a molecule? Because I don't think you do.
Do you even lift, bro?
Right?
That's a big problem, as you'll see in a moment. So the rate of degradation must be really known. We really need to know this speed. Is it really known? Keep in mind, you do a test for 4 months and you extrapolate 1.3 billion years.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take a drink because this is really dumb and it's hurting my head. By the way, how much beer you got left there, Chesh?
A little over half a can.
Oh, take a drink for this one.
Bab said Chesh's literacy can only be measured in complex numbers.
All right, well, this is a drink time. Here we go. Okay. The thing that... So first of all, atomic nuclei do not care about temperature. They do not care about pressure. They don't basically care about anything except relativistic speeds. So, when we give a decay rate for radioactive nuclides for spontaneous decay, we're giving them assuming that they're at rest relative to the person measuring them. Okay, so there's that. That's important. But once we make that assumption that they're at rest, which is reasonable for like things like lava, which really aren't moving very fast compared to the Earth as a whole, they're certainly not moving at like 80% the speed of light compared to the rest of the Earth. So we're pretty good on that assumption. What determines the actual decay rate is like the fundamental forces of the universe, primarily the weak nuclear force. So suggesting a change to any of these things requires that you be suggesting that the weak nuclear force change its strength. You're asking for the laws of physics to change. Which,
yeah.
No, that's not a reasonable ask. That's not a thing that science has ever indicated is even possible. And also, if you changed the force, which you would have to make it weaker, right? If you weakened the weak nuclear force, that would also make currently stable nuclides unstable, because formerly the weak nuclear force was enough to hold them together, but it isn't anymore. So then what? Why don't we have decay chains from those currently and previously stable elements that were suddenly made into unstable elements by your weakening of the weak nuclear force? I don't know. There's no explanation. There is no explanation for how you could change the spontaneous decay rate of any nuclei that isn't just magic. Now, sometimes people will come back being like, well, what about neutron capture or beta capture? And like, yes, those are induced nuclear decay. I'm talking about spontaneous nuclear decay, which is also what we use for radiometric dating. No one's using neutron capture processes or beta capture processes for this purpose, specifically because they are so subject to environmental influence. Okay.
May have some levels of error that are unacceptable.
What?
My guy, you were trying to tell me that the Earth is
What?
7 orders of magnitude younger than what everyone else knows it to be. Unless you can get the error range into 7 orders of magnitude, it doesn't matter. Anything less than that, and you're wrong. So, do you have evidence of a error in our decay rate measurements of 7 orders of magnitude of uncertainty? Do you have that? I don't think you do.
One of the things that bothers me about this is that these people just say things, and I really want to know why. And every time I ask why, they either can't answer or have to actually stop for like way too long for something they seem so convinced about.
Yeah. Lieutenant Math Navigator for $2 says, use the weak nuclear force, Luke. Yes. Nice.
There must be no incorporation of the daughter element.
Which, in this case, since it's argon, not a problem, buddy.
Because if you get extra daughter element in, it's going to look artificially old, isn't it?
It would, yes. We also have another way to deal with that in cases where the contamination is actually a reasonable possibility, which is not for argon, but it is for some decay products. And one of the things we can use for that is we can actually test multiple different techniques, and we can get what's called an isochron plot. And the way this works is you plot the ratios of daughter to elements along this plot, right? And if there has been no contamination, then these plots will form on a pretty close to a line. There's always going to be a little bit of error here and there, right? But if they are within a certain margin of being linear, then we call that a good date because there is not any contamination. Because any contamination process is not going to equally contaminate all of the various elements to give us exactly the same age reading across different radiometric techniques, right? Which means that they should line up on a line if there hasn't been contamination. And when there isn't, we can rule that out. And also the cool thing about isochron dating is it actually cancels out in the math the starting ratios. So you don't need to know the starting ratios. They cancel out. So not only does it show us if there's been contamination, it also means that with that particular technique, we don't need to assume any starting ratios. We can assume any starting ratio and it still works.
Like magic.
Right? That's going to become important in this method. The system must be a closed system. So during all this billions of years, you can't have leaching, you can't have changes of temperature, you can't have changes in pressure. So you're...
No, you
Why
can
not?
actually have changes in temperature and pressure. They just can't open the system to contamination. But that's a thing that's possible, right? Like, you know what an autoclave is?
Yes. That's one of the things I do know.
You know how it removes contamination?
Yes.
Do you think you're ever going to find that your scalpel has been contaminated by the autoclave?
Unless your autoclave is terribly broken or you've put something in it that's not supposed to be in it, no, it should be fine.
Yeah. It's almost like sometimes temperature and pressure don't cause contamination. It depends on what the material is.
Oh, wow. Go king figure.
I know. So crazy, right? Jessica...
Who'd have thought?
Jessica, Transmetal Alchemist, for $5 redo, says, most of the internet operates on the same laws as that of high school playground. Say something confidently enough and people will believe you. That's true. That is an accurate assessment.
I think that the playground has more critical thinking and like active like neurons than the internet does.
Oof, that's rough.
Like you say something, if you're in a position of power and you're talking, like you're a teacher and you say something confidently enough, the children will probably believe you, even though they ask a billion questions. So no, they don't. Children don't believe anything. You have to tell them 17 times. It's nonsense.
I hit the wrong play button.
Whoa, drink for Dappers and Professional.
I know. I didn't even have to tell anyone. It was invisible, but I still said it anyway. I'm being honest. Maybe this is
drink.
well, okay. There might be some of that. Maybe this is also just some in vino veritas. But also, I think we're not on pace to get Chesh to take that gin shot, and I want to see her take that gin shot. So
yeah, we are definitely not on pace for that.
Rock you're testing, that's lava rock that's come out of a volcano that's been in the crust of the earth, mustn't have changed over
the volcano that's been in the crust of the earth.
It can change, Lawrence. It just can't have any new elements that are relevant to the measurement leach in or out. It can change all sorts of ways.
What does he think the word change means at this point?
I don't know.
Me either, and I think that might be concerning.
Is that a reasonable criteria?
Well, no, but that's about criterion that you just made up. And also criterion is the singular, Lawrence, which again, English is your second language. I don't expect you to know that. But yes, 2 criteria, 1 criterion. Now, to be fair, criterion is a much rarer word because we usually have a plural meaning in mind. But still, it's criterion.
Guys, is my straw man convincing?
No.
No! Because by design.
Well, maybe
Shut
it's convincing to his audience who doesn't know what the heck he's talking about.
That doesn't count.
True.
Should we be asking a few questions here?
Yeah, sure. Ask away.
We are!
But here's the thing, man. When you get the answer, if your response is just nuh-uh, then you're not actually answering or asking questions in good faith. You're just trying to find gotchas against science.
The problems are, first of all, the elements in potassium argon, we know they can migrate. We know they move. Potassium is a fertilizer. It better migrate.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I need to figure this out. Okay. So, because humans dig up potassium from rocks and then extract it and put it into chemical fertilizers, therefore the rocks we dig up to extract the potassium from, which again is a thing humans do and also other organisms do. They break down the rocks. That means that therefore in the rocks that haven't been broken down for their potassium, the potassium might be gone. Is that what you're telling me, Lawrence? What are you talking about? What the absolute hell are you talking about, Lawrence?
Bro!
What is the train of logic there? How do you think that we get the potassium? We get it from the rocks, which are then destroyed in the processing of the potassium, Lawrence. It's like saying, hey,
rocks were there.
Did you know that humans dig up iron ore and smelt it into iron and steel? Therefore, rocks can't have iron in them. No, the fact that we can do that, it was what demonstrates that rocks must be able to have iron in them, Lawrence. I don't even know what to say. Like, how do you come up with that?
How would you ever even find iron to smelt from the rocks in the first place to justify your position?
I'm taking a drink on that one.
Yay!
What the hell is wrong with you, man? Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $5 says potassium could be carried by an African swallow. Well, maybe 2 swallows. Maybe carried on a string between them.
A European swallow or?
Oh, he specified African. It was right there.
Oh, African swallow.
Oh,
yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. I just... Look, there's some things where creationists say them, and I'm like, okay, I get where you're coming from. I understand your argument. I can see how if you were right about X, Y, and Z, this would make sense. With this one, I just can't. I have no idea what he's talking about here. Like, how does he think this works? Does he think that all the potassium we use was chemically leached out of rocks that now no longer have potassium? Because that's just not true.
Does he think an untrue thing? Probably.
Yeah.
It uses water. And so heat, erosion, water intrusion, in fact, they notice that the mineral itself can absorb argon under certain conditions.
Okay. 19... Solubility is something... Let's see if we can find this.
Good luck. Drink for Dapper's trying to find the citation. We believe.
Hold on. MJ Hagee has me concerned.
I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. I believe we can make it now. We'll be rocking till the sun goes down. I believe in a thing called love.
Okay, it was not the Hagee I was thinking of. All right.
Guitar!
Ability, partition.
Light in the ignorance for 5 says donating towards the gin shot, and because I got my tax return back. Also, while you may not be a linguist, you are certainly a lingthusiast with AIG's bag of dicks emojis. Is AIG's bag of dicks emoji count as a drink, right?
Yes.
Hey.
All right. I'm trying to find this. Reconstructing coal bed methane accumulation. This might be it. Academia.edu. Solubility and partitioning of argon and anthracite, diopsite, forsterite, spinel, and synthetic basaltic liquids by people. Let's see.
By people that exist.
It didn't actually
probably.
give like a what's it? A list of authors, which is weird.
Oh.
All right, let's download the PDF, I guess. Oh no, I don't want to pay $1. All right, I'm going to use what's definitely. Oh, maybe just download it anyway. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, this is by Broadhurst, Drake, Hagee, and Bernatowitz. All right, we have investigated the solubility and partitioning of argon in natural anthracite, diopsite, forsterite, spinel, and synthetic iron-free basaltic melts. Okay. The experiments use a new technique which obviates post-quenching phase separation. Minerals and melts known to be in equilibrium are held in separate crucibles in a 1 bar flowing noble gas atmosphere at 1300 Celsius or 1332 Celsius. After a specified time, the samples are quenched and the gas concentrations measured by mass spectrometry. A reversal and a rate study for argon and anthracite indicate a close approach to equilibrium solubilities in our experiments. The solubility of argon in minerals is surprisingly high. In addition, the solubility of argon in different samples of a particular mineral run in the same experiment varies more than the solubility in the same sample run in different experiments. This result suggests that noble gases are held in lattice vacancy defects. Well, that's not terribly surprising. Other evidence supports defect sighting. Gases are held in very retentive sites. Solubility trends do not favor interstitial sighting. TEM imaging revealed no anomalous microstructures or dislocation densities. Argon solubilities in synthetic silicate metals are lower than in those observed experimentally in natural basalts. The difference correlates with the greater molar volume and polymerization of the natural basalts compared to the synthetic melts. Solubility variation, blah, 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 blah. All right, let's see what we have here in our methods. Okay, 11 natural mineral samples are very close to end member composition. Were obtained from mineral museums, bunch of different samples. Chemical analysis and a sample source data for all minerals are given in table 1. Okay, let's see. Synthesis experiments. Let's see what the actual conclusion is. References summary. Here we go. We have investigated the solubility and partitioning of argon in natural anthracite deposits, or whatever, all the different things. Using an experimental technique, blah, 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 blah. The solubility of argon in minerals is surprisingly high. Okay, that doesn't tell us that they're able to put argon into these minerals, though. That tells us that they can store argon.
Right.
So let's see. Searching for intrusion. That's not coming up. Let's search for enter. That comes up in the word center. Let's try input. Add. Okay, that comes up in the word addition. Let's see. Additional. Adding silicon to the whatever resulted in a rapid nonlinear increase in the argon concentration. So add in certain chemicals can cause changes, but doesn't say anything about adding argon. Let's see. That's additional again. Addition and addition. Yeah. I'm not going to say that this is a Trojan source, but it's a source that doesn't help. So fun. The Lacaleon Kennedy for $5 reduce says, I had to pay a $45 reduce for a paper one time because it wasn't on that entirely legitimate website. Knowledge shouldn't be paywalled. I agree. My recommendation, though, is if you come up against that again, what you should do is you should actually email the author. So most papers have a lead author who is the person that you contact for correspondence about that paper. Contact that person, and chances are that they will be able to send it to you for free. So if it... On a lot of newer papers, there will actually be a little email icon if you're accessing like the summary online, and that's the person that you email. Otherwise, it's usually going to be the first author listed, if it's not otherwise specified who's the contact author on that paper.
Yeah.
So, and even if you can't get a hold of the contact author, if you contact one of the other authors, it may be okay. So,
you've got a decent chance.
Yep. All right. Here we go.
So if you have 1,300 degrees Celsius, it'll absorb at 1 atmospheric pressure, 0.33 ppm. What's the...
That's not what the paper said. That's not what the paper said at all. They were using that to outgas the argon that was already in the... What? Well, let's search for absorb. Let's see. No, that's absolute. Absorb doesn't show up. Lawrence, did you read the paper? Did you read this paper you're citing? I'm going to take a drink.
No.
Lawrence didn't read the paper.
Not even once, baby.
Lawrence didn't read the paper.
Womp, womp, womp.
Also, I want to point out that even if he's right, that is what happened, it was as a result of them bathing these things at super high temperatures in a actual like gas layer of noble gases at 1 atmosphere, which is not a situation you'd find under the ground anyway. So like, even if he weren't wrong about what this paper said, it wouldn't actually help anyway, because there's absolutely no way that any of these rocks would be under even remotely analogous situation.
It doesn't even help.
But Eris Rose just gifted 5 more Dapper Dinosaur memberships. So I'm going to increment the drink counter. Chesh is going to take 5 drinks. And then while I take 5 drinks, Chesh is going to tell you, let's see, why do people so infrequently use vampires in D&D?
So unless you're running like Strahd and you're in like the demiplane of dread, you're probably not running vampires. I run vampires actually pretty often, but I think a lot of people don't run vampires because they're very aristocratic and they're a little bit hard to work into a like regular town. Like as fun as they are, there's just so many other better things that could be in there sneaking around who are better at hiding, who have way better so like instead of like a dragon or having like a demon disguised as a person is way easier because you don't have the sunlight sensitivity. There's just so many, you don't have to drink blood. There's so many ways for a vampire to get caught that these other creatures just don't have and don't need to worry about. That like a vampire just has too many detriments to be just in a regular town hiding as an aristocrat most of the time.
Chesh.
But I do think they are used semi-regularly.
Can I point out that in Eberron, there's an entire country where any random village might just have a vampire living openly as like the village elder?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It makes more sense in D&D world to have a vampire living openly and honestly, but also Eberron has like Eberron's just a little bit different. And the question was more about like people in their home games.
I'm just trying to get you more interested in Eberron so you run some Eberron games.
My world is way more messed up than Eberron is. You would rather be in my world, I promise.
I don't know. Do you have Bloodsail elves?
You don't even need to worry about it.
That's a no. My Unfinished Talk for $2 says, don't absorb ignorance, like and share instead, with a winky tongue out emoji. And then, let's see, Light in the Ignorance for $2 says, vampires are more lore accurate than fun to fight. That's often the case. All right, here we go.
I feel like people just don't do vampires very well.
Significance of that is, a rock with an average concentration of potassium-40 would be given an age of 570 million years if it contained only 0.1 ppm of argon. But the rock itself can be shown to absorb 30 times that.
Okay. So, Lawrence, how old would that make the rock in those cases? Does it get you to your 7 orders of magnitude difference? Because what you just told me is it's a difference of 30 times. That's 1 order of magnitude.
That is not enough magnitudes.
Yeah, that's even if we assume that it's a geometric increase. Is that getting you to 7 orders of magnitude of error? I don't think it is. Even if you're right, which again you're not, because we just checked the paper. It doesn't say what you say it said.
Just if there's argon around. So we have some.
Do you think that the world is just chock full of argon, Lawrence? Because your version of this paper, which again is wrong, is that if you absolutely bathe a rock at 1300 degrees Celsius in an ocean of argon, that it can absorb a little bit of argon. That's your claim. How would you expect that to happen? I don't know if you know this, but argon is one of those trace gases in Earth's atmosphere. And you know how much atmosphere there is underground? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
How much atmosphere is between 2 rocks?
Right? It's basically none, Lawrence.
Like, that's the question.
What do you...
How much is in between 2 rocks? And that's like an insane question to be asking in the first place.
I'm taking another drink.
Yeah, that's just really stupid. Like, how much atmosphere is between 2 rocks after he complained that he can't fit a piece of paper between there? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, this paper does not
You
do
idiot.
anything to help him, and it's so stupid.
You're so dumb.
Stephen G. Clinner, although I do appreciate you bothering to cite something. Stephen G. Clinner for $5 says,
Fair
maybe
enough,
they
yes.
hid the data in the supplemental materials section.
No, the data is hidden between those 2 rocks that he can't fit a piece of paper.
Oh, yeah,
between.
that's where it is. Oh, hiding the data in the supplemental section. Chris Vidslol for $500. I can't read. It's $5, not $500. I'm sorry.
Nobody can read anymore. We gave up on reading.
Yeah, now we just use AI. Says, I did a vampire very well. Just ask Asterion. He has no complaints. With a AIG's a bag of dicks emoji. We'll take a drink for that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've run vampires a couple of times. I ran a game that was a zombie apocalypse, and I didn't tell the players it was a zombie apocalypse. So they made regular characters not ready for a zombie apocalypse, and then suddenly zombies everywhere. And the big bad guy was a vampire. 2 of the players were vampires. And then later on, I ran a campaign where there was an entire vampire town, and then and there was a big bad vampire lady, and one of the players became a vampire.
Nice. You know,
he was not a good vampire. At one point, he ran off and was so not okay. He had to go and hide in a pond.
Maybe you should
because
run.
He got caught drinking cows.
Maybe you should.
And then I made a cow and yokai vampire.
Maybe you should run a chronicle of Vampire the Masquerade sometime.
I don't know.
Questions to ask about this dating method. 80%, they tested this, 80% of the potassium contained in a sample leached out just with water flowing over it.
What does that say? When exposed to a flow of distilled water, Lawrence?
Oh, no.
Lawrence, how much of the water on Earth is just pure water that's been distilled and flown around through the rocks? How much of it?
Why are you like this, dude?
And also, remember, we can check for contamination, and if these things have happened, we'll know. So not only would this not be a problem if it were actually a thing that was happening, but it's not really a thing. And also, look at this. David plates it, the Radiometric dating game. How much you want to bet that that is a creationist book? Let's find out, shall we?
Yeah. How much you want to bet?
Radioactive dating game. Let's see. Nope, that is the wrong thing that I'm looking at. All right, let's search the name too.
Yeah, do it. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Na 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 na. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Na 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 na. Do whatever you wanna do. Yeah, go on.
Let's see. Radiomet. Oh, it's the first thing that pops up is on creation TASC-creationscience.org.
Oh,
Let's see.
who'd have thought? Who'd have
Yeah, Dr.
thunk?
Playstead speculates that decay rates for radioactive isotopes could have been faster in the past than they currently are. A thing that's physically impossible. Okay. Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah, so again, this is just a creationist publication, to be generous to it.
Who could have foreseen this?
Me.
Oh.
Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $5 says, I asked an L about this guy, and it says he's a lying idiot. I'm not sure what that is. I asked a L or an I.
What? I asked where. I asked AI.
Arrow Dodger says, "I'm gonna."
It says I asked AI about this.
Oh, there's a space that shouldn't be there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Arrow
I got you,
Dodger
fam.
for $4.99 says, "What kind of pussy ass bitches are making Christians look bad through ignorance?" St. Augustine. Also, I do appreciate the heavy use of Greek letters to get pussy ass bitches in there.
That is pretty good.
Let's see. Landon Null for $1.99 says argon is 0.934% of the atmosphere and 0.0015% of the crust. Yeah, that not exactly an ocean of pure argon that these things are bathing in, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Which means even if his interpretation were right, wouldn't help much. Actually, oh no, we're at the point where it's time to wrap things up. Unfortunately, means Chesh didn't.
Yeah, my
have to
alarm
take,
went off. It's time for me to go to bed.
Chesh didn't have to take that gin shot unless during our closing we get a whole lot more, which I'm not expecting. All right. But hey, we went through like 7 minutes of this video. That's pretty good for us.
You considering between like me and you chatting about like vampires,
Yeah.
and the chat sending super chats and not wanting us to talk about this guy, it is very rare that we make it to 10 minutes at a time.
We did a good job. Good job, everybody.
Good job.
All right.
Good job, everybody.
All right. So, Chesh, you got anything coming up that you want people to know about?
Yeah, tomorrow, go on Debate Hub. Come to me. Come to me. I've got Dr. Kip coming, and I have MC Toon coming at 6:15 Eastern Time, and they're going to be talking about Flat Earth and biblical history, and Flat Earth arguments over there. Come to Debate Hub Official. Link is in the description. That is tomorrow at 6:15 Eastern Time. Debate Hub Official. Show up. We are almost at monetization. We only need like roughly 100 and change more valid watch hours.
You said that for like 3 days.
No, it was like 150, and now it's like 100.
Oh, okay.
A little bit. Yeah. No, it's been progressing. It's also like slow to update. I don't know why it's like that.
It takes like a day or two to update.
Yeah. And then I'd have my own normal stuff going on my channel. So if you like politics or whatever, you can come over and see that. But who cares? On Debate Pub is also on the 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern. So be over there. Don't be square. Dapper's there.
Yeah. All right, so what's coming up for me? Let's see. Nothing tomorrow. Then on Thursday, we have the next Jay Seegert video coming out. It is, let's see, Mutations, Random, but Somehow Intentional with Jay Seegert. That is going to be an hour-long video. It's actually 59 minutes and 70 or 57 seconds, so like whatever, it's an hour. Check that out. That will be at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Then on Friday, over on Top Hats Off, I'm going to be playing Dungeons and or Dragons with Chesh and Jordan and Metageeky and Zerolon. And is that it? Did I cover everyone?
There's 4 of us.
Yeah.
Well, and me.
Yeah, so that is I did cover it. So yeah, check that out. That will be at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Then on Saturday, I should be back for more Dapper Reacts. We're going to hopefully finish up that whole Forbidden Ethiopian Bible video. I believe Kip will be back, unless, of course, his recent run-in with if injuries do not prevent him from being in. He's
Yeah, he better show up tomorrow. I'm going to be real mad.
Yeah. Hopefully he's still elevating his hand, and so he has his hand raised the entire time. That would make it more fun for me. Let's see. Then on next Tuesday, the plan is Matt with Maddie. I do have to message Maddie, make sure that she is okay, but she almost always is. So, yeah, come check those things out. That is what we are at for like a week from now. I am trying to arrange something with Dr. Joel Duff and Dr. Dino, not Kent, the other Dr. Dino.
The real Dr. Dino,
Yeah,
not that
the one who
fake
actually does
Dr. Dino.
paleontology stuff for realsies.
And has education and knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And knows what a dinosaur is.
I don't have a firm date on that yet. I do have my recommended dates and times in. So we'll see what happens with that. So I can't really announce it, but I do want to give you a heads up that we're working on that. Oh, and Dr. Kip was in the stream a few hours ago. All right, well then he's apparently able to stream, which means he has no excuses. All right, I want to say again, thank you so much, everybody. If you want to, we're going to be watching a couple episodes of Star Trek Enterprise over on my Discord channel. So that's a lot of fun if you like Star Trek. If you don't, it might not be fun.
Bully Dapper into watching Sergeant Frog.
Okay. Yeah, other than that, I think the only
promise.
thing left to say is that ICE must be abolished.
Hey, before you leave, I just want to take a second to thank my patrons and channel members, especially those pledging $20 or above.
Sealoof, Ben Tovind, Tapioca Weasel, Mikau Dominiak, Sammy LaFleur, Edwin M., Kenneth Swenson, John Ackerman, Sphincter of Doom, Regios, Landon Knoll, Ian Chen, Eleron Teller, Phil Rivara, David Hercules, Joshua Geese, Dan Sheedy, Pegajace, The Plastic Mouse, Gordon Loves Science, Amber Athelian, Prixie Purple, Agricola Sequa, and Me, Myself, and I.
It's because of my channel members and patrons whom you're seeing on screen that this channel can stay afloat. Without you, it would all shut down. If you want to join the team, there's a link to join the channel below this video, and there's a link to join the Patreon in the description. On the Patreon, you can get a 15% discount for pledging annually, and either way, you get early access to virtually all of my scripted videos months before they come out for the general public. Thanks for watching.